All right, we are at it. The best player prop Super Bowl draft you can find. Bet-sided crew is all here. We are going through over the next, I don't know, maybe hour or so, going through our own personal betting draft ahead of the Super Bowl. Ben Heisler, Ian McMillan, Peter Dewey, Donovan Smoot, Reed Wallach, who thoughts and prayers go out to his Brooklyn Nets. We can
It's not over.
pour one out.
Not over. we're just getting started. We're just getting started. We're not.
That was the most unconvincing "it's not over" I've ever heard. He's a broken man today.
Slow tear just streaming down.
No complaints here. We're ready to roll.
Okay, he's all business. He doesn't want to give away any sort of tells. Here's what's going to happen over the course of the next several minutes or so. We have decided on a draft order. We are going to be selecting off the board our favorite Super Bowl prop bets. We will also include spread, money line, and total bets as well. Everybody will be selecting a total of 4 prop bets. We will then tally up our bets at the end of the Super Bowl to determine the winner. Stakes have not been determined at this point because it's been a busy day. And you can certainly weigh in right here on the chat. If you have ideas, we will read them. We will certainly include them in the process. But let's go over the draft order. Choosing first, it'll be a snake draft order. So Ian selected the number 1 overall pick. He'll then be followed by Donovan, followed by Peter, Reed, and then myself. Before we get started, I'm giving you guys the floor before I go over the rules and we start the actual draft. Is there any opportunity to present your argument, your trash talk, why you will be winning this draft ahead of somebody like myself?
Ben, I just realized we're going in the draft order of our normal best bets order. Like it randomized to the normal best bets order. So that is very interesting.
Are you calling the draft selection committee? Are you calling the
fraud?
Balls
Yes.
New York Knicks
Fraudulent?
never really were supposed to get Patrick Ewing. What's happening?
I don't know. Somebody must have froze the envelopes. Yeah, something's going on there. But
okay, I have the receipts to back up the randomness of the draft order. I can promise you that I run a very tight ship here, despite participating in the actual draft. But that's a conversation for another time. Okay. I know the skepticism is high. All the more pressure on me to have to go ahead and win this. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So for those of you just joining us, this draft will focus on different categories. We are going to be focused in on choosing an anytime touchdown score. That must be a part of the selection process. Okay? That's the first part. We also have the available of props must be selected from WynnBET Sportsbook. Any selection of props on the board is available. You can choose player props, rushing, totals, spreads, money line. Those are all available, and you have a total of 4, and this is a snake draft. So I'm the last pick in the first round. I will get the first pick in the second round. Does everybody understand the rules of the draft?
Ready to roll.
Okay. Ian McMillan, first pick. And the bet-sided 2022 Best Bets draft for the Super Bowl is officially open. You are on the board.
I just want to say when I win here, because I'm going to win this. There might be other sports you guys are probably better than me at, but I'm the king of the NFL. I just want to declare that. And when I win, I would like at least a 6-pack from all of you in celebration. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. My first pick was always going to be my first pick. I don't care if I picked first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. I was always going to have this pick. So I guess since I'm first overall, I'll do it anyways. But you guys know what it is. It's Rams -4. Of course I'm going to take the Rams. I decided as soon as the matchup was finalized that I would live or die on the Rams -4 hill. My pinned tweet for the past 10 days has been me ranting about how it's the easiest bet of all time. I'm fully prepared that if the Rams don't win and cover the spread, I might just need to delete Twitter for a little bit because my timeline is going to be filled with people calling me out because I have made it very clear that I think the Rams are going to win this by a lot. They're the better team. I pointed out 12 stats. They have an advantage in 10 of them. Everyone's on Joe Burrow because he put on some cool sunglasses and he won a couple playoff games. It's the smart bet. It's the easy bet. I'll take it first overall, I guess. And it's just I'll just start off with an easy win. So I already got one bet, one win already. You guys are already playing catch up. So that's my first overall pick. Rams -4.
All right. So does anybody have any concerns that Ian just completely telegraphed that first overall pick? Like, there were so many different props. You mentioned on Bet and Breakfast today that you bet 22 Super Bowl props. Those could have been selected here, and we all know that Rams -4 probably would have still been on the board, maybe in the second or third round. But this was a chance you were willing to take.
I was a little concerned Donovan might take it. I know Donovan's on the Rams as well. When does he pick? Does he pick?
I picked right after you.
Yeah, so I was a little bit concerned with that, and also I'm assuming we're doing snake draft, so I don't get pick again. So I didn't know if it's going to come all the way back to me, and I wanted it. Yes, I have 22 other bets, but my biggest bet by a long shot is on Rams -4. So I'm going to live and die by the Rams.
Always an encouraging sign when Ian says, "I assume this was a snake draft." Yes, we just went over this about 30 seconds ago.
And I have the order right in front of my face. I can see it. I don't know.
I have a question for Ian. So, Ian, I know you've been mentioning the Rams as kind of your team. You thought that they were kind of undervalued this entire season. Did you ever jump in with a future on them, or you never saw kind of a entry point for them?
No, right before the playoffs, I did bet them 10-1. So I have a 10-1 Super Bowl ticket on them.
No hedge, I imagine.
No hedge. You're
not a gardener.
That's right.
It's just going to be a shame when I get to lead the charge on Twitter saying easiest Super Bowl bet ever, but the Bengals
You'll
win.
be the one taking like old takes exposed underneath all my tweets.
I'm going to be replying to every person who's like agreed with you and be like, really? The whole time.
You sure?
Clown emoji. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be like Jim Carrey on the keyboard, just liking everything that comes in on Ian. Just bat. All right. Yeah. Rams -4. A surprise to nobody that goes off the board from one Ian McMillan. And now the floor goes to Donovan. Pick number 2 of the first round of the Bet Sided Best Draft. Your selection.
I'm gonna be kind of aggressive here. I'm gonna just get this off the board. I'm gonna take my anytime touchdown here, and I'm taking T. Higgins +150.
Ooh.
I think so. T. Higgins, and so this one, I am being a little aggressive because T. Higgins hasn't scored since week 16, and it's been a long time. But he's due. He's due. The last 2 weeks of the playoffs, T. Higgins has had 19 targets. Right, Joe Burrow is clearly looking for him. I think that with Jalen Ramsey covering Jamar Chase, even with Tyler Boyd, and we talked earlier this week about how I think kind of all of us are on Tyler Boyd to have a big game, but T. Higgins has been the consistent one in that that Bengals offense, and he is going to see a lot of targets. I think with Ramsey being shut down, I want to go ahead and take that +150. So we're taking T. Higgins anytime touchdown. It's my first pick.
Okay, Higgins off the board for anytime touchdown. You're shocked? Why?
That is an aggressive first round pick.
He said anytime touchdown, and I was like, oh, he's going to go OBJ. OBJ's your guy, and you're on the Rams. I'm shocked when T. Higgins said OBJ.
He is. Odell's a little bit under him. He's at +110, and so
a little bit more value on T.
Yeah, just a little bit more value. I think that Higgins is going to be really, really involved, and the volume for Higgins is bigger than the volume for Odell. So I like that just by a little bit.
All right.
Higgins goes off the board. Certainly, you're right. An aggressive play. I think this one could have been available for you, maybe second or third round, but you went up and you got your guy. And you got it at plus value. And remember, that could be the deciding factor here. If somebody hits on this anytime touchdown, it might negate all the other bets that you put in. Like, that's the one that you got to hit, I think, if you're going to end up winning this thing. So Higgins is off the board, anytime touchdown at +150. All right, we head to Mr. Bengal, Mr. Public Pete, number 3 on the board. Does he have his Joe Burrow sunglasses on? How locked in?
I'm surprised you didn't order a pair if you're that in on the bit.
I told you guys I am not in on the bit because Joe Burrow dressed cool. I'm in on the bit because Joe Burrow is the better quarterback. That's why I'm in on the bit. Joe Burrow's the better quarterback.
You got to stop this.
This isn't even like I'm going to
Yes.
laugh all the way to the bank when Matt Stafford throws 2 pick sixes on Sunday or something like that. It is going to be hilarious. I'm going to be dying because there's no way that Joe Burrow loses this game for the Bengals,
2
but
pick
Matt Stafford
sixes.
could very well lose this game for the Rams. That's the way I'm
You're
thinking.
you're just saying words now.
I will give Peter that.
Come on.
That if there is a quarterback to lose their team the game,
It's going to be Matt Stafford.
it's more likely to be Matt Stafford than Joe Burrow. I will give him that. I'm not saying I agree with him that Matt Stafford will, but I can see Matt Stafford, if the Rams were to lose, it probably comes on him throwing 2, maybe 3 interceptions. I just don't see that. Joe Burrow might get sacked 9 times, but that I think is more of the Bengals offensive line than necessarily
watch
Joe
the
Burrow.
fumble. Watch the fumble come out of Joe Burrow's hands on one of them sacks. Watch the fumble.
That's all right. It's all right.
All right,
Because-
I'm here. Let me throw this prop bet up. This is a Benny High special. Throwing it out to all of you. What will be the higher number on Sunday? Will it be? And I'll set odds on it as well. Will it be Stafford interceptions or forced fumbles on Joe Burrow? Not necessarily
Gotta be
that.
Stafford interceptions.
Not saying that he loses the fumble. Just the ball has to come out on Burrow.
Still,
So I think that's even odds to me. -110 on both sides.
no.
Has Joe
I'll take
Burrow
that.
fumbled that much? Like, did Joe Burrow fumble that much?
That is
Has
not
Joe
an
Burrow
even. That is
gone
not an even.
against.
That's
Has
not
Joe
an
Burrow
even.
gone
odds
against
bet.
Von Miller and
Joe
the
Burrow
greatest
fumbled
defensive player of our
5
generation?
times all
Wait,
year?
I'm
Oh,
dumb.
man,
I'm
Matt
The
Stafford.
ball just has
flabbergasted
to
by
come
that.
out. He doesn't have to lose.
I don't
the
think
ball.
he has.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
I
makes
don't think
it
Joe Burrow has.
I'm sorry.
I don't think he's played Von Miller and Aaron
Can
Donald.
I get in on this
That hasn't
bet?
happened.
Those are not even odds. It's just simply
Joe
not.
Burrow's only fumbled
Let's say
5
Joe
times
Burrow's
this year.
let's say Joe Burrow's tackled 10 times. Matt Stafford is throwing the ball over 30 times. There's more opportunities for Matt Stafford to throw an interception than there is for Joe Burrow to be fumble. Just based on those odds alone, or those numbers alone, the odds should not be even. That's
Okay.
just math.
That's a fair point. All right, so let's put it at Stafford -150.
Yeah, it's definitely closer to like 60-40, if that. I'll
Okay.
still take the bet.
Let's still
Okay.
take Stafford.
-150. Ian Donovan, would you go with +135 for Burrow to have the ball knocked out more times than Stafford throwing a pick?
Just knocked out. He doesn't even have to lose it. Yes,
That was the bet. That's what
Yes,
made
I'm
it, I
taking
thought, a
it.
little bit more even.
I'm taking it.
Okay. Ian?
I'll take the 3-way money line and go draw, and I'll say 0-0.
But Ian, you agree with me that the odds should not be pick 'em.
We've
just a-
established that I'm a shitty athlete.
we said you were right.
There's
We
a
gave
reason
you
why you're
that.
on the
I messed that
content
one
line.
up.
We're not arguing about that.
I've admitted it.
Listen,
Like I screwed the pooch on that one. I'm fully admitting that I am a few credits shy of my odds maker.
Pete, if after all this you don't take Bengals money line, I'm going to be livid.
Okay. All right. We should get to Peter here. All right.
Yeah,
Pick
that's
number
fine.
3, first round is what's it going to be?
it's a shame because Ian's going to be livid because I'm taking Jamar Chase under 5.5 receptions +105. And Ian's going to be pissed. But we talked about this on Best Bets. We talked about this on Best Bets. And
play.
I think if Jalen Ramsey plays Jamar Chase and shadows him the whole game, he's gone under this number 11 times this season. I think this is a T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd type of game. So I'm going to take plus odds on Jamar Chase getting less than 5 catches. I think he can still have a good game, but Jamar Chase he's not a high volume guy. He's only seen double-digit targets 1 time in the last 4 weeks and 5 times all season. So I'll take Jamar Chase against Jalen Ramsey, go under 5.5.
Okay. Like the call, like the odds too, to be able to get that one at +105. So not a traditional public Pete play.
No,
Going
not at
against
all.
the sharps on this one.
Not at all.
Interesting. Okay. Like the play, though. I think it's good value. I agree. We discussed that a little bit earlier on this week. All right. So Rams -4. T. Higgins anytime touchdown at +150. Jamar Chase under 5.5 receptions at +105. Those are the first 3 picks off the board in round number 1. The board now goes to Reed Wallach, pick number 4 in the first round. Where are you going, my friend?
So I'm stuck in between 2 for the same player, just thinking about how to play it. And I know Ian's gonna look to take this prop, so I'm gonna just take it from him just for pride purposes. I'm gonna go Joe Mixon under 63.5 rushing yards. So
what is this collusion against me? What's going on here?
So here is
I like
my
this strategy.
rationale.
I
Here's
gotta
my
respect
rationale
it.
behind it. The Rams are top 5 against the run, and I do foresee the Rams getting out to a lead. I'm kind of coming off that Bengals play. I'm kind of thinking that this might set up for a Rams win. It's more, I'm not going to bet the game pregame because I think that the Rams have a lot of advantages. I'm hoping actually the Rams get out to a bit of a lead and Burrow is forced to just throw on every play and then they could get back into the game that way. That being said, I just can't see the run game getting going here, and the Bengals are going to have to scrap that. So I like the mix and under rushing yards. I mean, I'm not going to take this, so I'll just discuss it. Like I was in between that and the Joe Mixon over receiving yards for that same reason. It's kind of looking at it the same way. I think that the Bengals are going to have to pass. I like Burrow's over pass completions. I like his pass attempts prop. I think that this is going to have to be spread it out 5 wide. Let's sling it around here. 63.5 rushing yards.
Okay.
Just trying to
Under
find
on
the-
63.5. That was actually when we did our roundtable over with our Bengals insider. She actually disagreed with that call. She thought that it was more of a situation as to they would use Mixon more to negate the pass rush for the Rams. You see any concern with that they try to get Mixon involved early to try and take guys like Donald and Von Miller out of the game?
They tried it against the Chiefs, and it didn't really work to much success. I mean, the Bengals were playing from behind the sticks the entire game. I think that they're going to have to throw in this one. Goes in turn with the handicap I gave out on the Best Bets roundtable, where I think the Bengals are going to have to look underneath here. I really just don't see a lot of holes for Mixon, and especially with the Rams overpowering defensive line. Like I said, top 5 in rush DVOA. I don't know. 63.5 is a big number to get to in the Super Bowl, and I don't know. I see this game kind of trending towards an under game. I don't know if it's going to be so explosive, and especially with the Bengals pass catching weapons, I just think that they're going to have to abandon the run pretty quickly.
Mixon under 63.5. That is the top pick in round
if I can
number
just say
1.
something really quick.
Yeah.
There's been 3 picks since I picked, and 2 of them were going to be my next 2 picks. So I think there's some collusion going on right now. I had T. Higgins as my touchdown scorer, and Joe Mixon on the rushing yards are my next 2 picks.
Did you
Listen, you're the one who reached on Rams -4. That's on you.
Yeah,
Not wrong.
I was never gonna take Rams -1.
Because Donovan doesn't think the Rams are going to win. Deep down, he knows Joe Burrow is winning this football
That's
game.
not true. That's not true.
Unbelievable.
That's not true.
All right. The board, gentlemen, is looking awfully tasty right now. This is setting up exceptionally well for your guy. So let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. You guys gave me the perfect opportunity to take my favorite prop in this draft. It's still available over at WinBet at these odds. Joe Burrow, over 11.5 rushing yards, -125. He is going to be scrambling. He's going to be moving. He found something in that game against Kansas City, some design runs. He has the ability to extend plays. This is somebody that will take off and run. We saw it during the national championship game at LSU. He trusts his surgically repaired knee. He'll have to move because the Rams are going to force him to move. And so as much as we believe that he's going to have to throw in this game, he's going to have to find ways to extend plays. And if Joe Burrow is the type of quarterback that most of us are saying that he is, there's going to be more ways than just trying to find T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd down the field. So I think the 11.5 gets there fairly easily. I'm on the Rams to win this game, so I don't have to worry about the kneel down at any portion. I like the over 11.5. And now I get
one of the economy.
Yeah, backbone of the economy. And now I get the first pick number 6, and the first overall pick in round number 2. And now I get to be a little bit sneaky. Now I get to maybe jump on a play that I know one of you guys likes. And I think that play is going to be on one certain Cincinnati Bengals receiver. Maybe a guy that has done a really nice job of consistently catching passes. Maybe hasn't even dropped a pass in the last 2 years. I am going to go ahead and take the over on Tyler Boyd receptions. 4
Cross that off the board.
receptions on the over. Tyler Boyd over at WinBet. I agree with Reed. He talked about it earlier in the week. He telegraphed that play, and I'm going to go ahead and just yank it right off of him. That's somebody. And again, I get it at plus 100 too at WinBet. Oh, what fantastic value for a guy that's going to have to be able to receive the football fairly quickly, get involved in the offense early and often. Over 4 receptions, plus 100 odds. Go ahead and book that. It's Tyler Boyd. Come to daddy. Anytime.
We're just stealing each other's picks at this point. This
That's
is
what I'm saying.
That's the
It's
game.
like a game of Monopoly right now. We're all going to be at each other's throats by the end of it.
Listen, I feel real
nobody
good.
has picked nobody has picked any of the picks on my sheet. So y'all are fighting amongst yourselves. I'm just going through my strategy right now. So
I'm glad I gave out that
I
Stafford
might
drop
actually
on
take it right
Tuesday.
now, Donovan. I might jump in right now.
Let me see.
All right, Reed, you're up. Who you
Okay.
taking in the second round here?
Boyd was gonna be mine. I was gonna go Boyd. I'm a little kind of iffy on a.
I dare you.
Because I don't know how I feel about the anytime touchdown because, I could go for a longer shot, and yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Odell Beckham anytime touchdown scorer. I think that the Rams. I don't really believe in their rush game. I do think that both running backs have been uninspiring in the postseason. I think that this is still going to be a pass-happy offense for the majority of it until they build a lead and they, maybe let the Bengals hang around. I get Odell at plus money to score a touchdown. He's been targeted a bunch. I think that the Bengals are really going to look to shut down Cooper Kupp. That's obviously going to be their focus. But Stafford's really only looked Kupp in Beckham's way. I think he finds Beckham in the end zone. Feels narrative-y too. Get the plus money on there. I just think it's the most likely bet on the board. So I wanted Boyd. That was going to be my next pick, but I'll take Odell.
Beckham Jr. off the board, plus 110. The anytime touchdown for Reed is also
I did have Higgins listed as an anytime touchdown bet as well. So I was also a little annoyed that came off the board.
Okay. That's part of the game. Part of the game here in the process. You've already lost 2. Ian's lost 2. Peter's awfully quiet, so we don't know if any picks have been stolen from him. Donovan's like, y'all can't see my board. I'm in such great shape right now.
Was Odell not one of your picks?
We'll talk strategy afterwards.
Okay. Got it.
We'll talk strategy afterwards.
Totally, hey, that's totally fine.
All right, Peter. Round 2, pick number 3. The board is yours.
Reed's reading my mind over here because I was waiting for Odell to come back to me in this round, but it's all right. We move.
We ball.
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough.
Here goes Peter acting like he doesn't have every pick listed out.
That's tough. No,
he's
I
panicking.
already know this one. I did a video on this one earlier the week. I'm surprised nobody took it. Taking Joe Burrow over 36.5 pass attempts, minus 105. Look, Joe Burrow's cleared this in 5 straight games. He's cleared it 13 times this season. We've talked about how the Rams have a top 5 run DVOA this season. They're going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to throw the ball short. They're going to have to throw the ball early. They're going to have to throw it often. If they do fall behind and I'm wrong about this game, it just means Joe Burrow is going to throw it out. So it's not exactly a hedge, but going to give myself a little bit of a, if this game doesn't go the way I think it's going to go, Burrow's definitely going to hit this prop. So, give me Burrow over 36.5 passes. I would be really, really surprised if Zach Taylor plays it super conservative with him and doesn't let Burrow if they do what they did last game against the Chiefs, where they just ran it first and second down and they got themselves into that hole. I'd be shocked if he does that again, because you can't fall behind in a hole against this pass rush. Like, the Chiefs are just a completely different team. So I think he'll be a little bit more aggressive to start the game. I think that benefits Burrow in this prop.
I know you tried to sell that one, Peter, but the fact that you're already hedging your Bengals bet a little bit with this prop has me a little bit concerned.
Listen, I like this prop regardless. I think he's done it in 5 straight games. They've won every single one of those games. I think he's going to do it no matter what. I just think as the season's gone on, they've let him throw the ball more. So, and in this spot, just the way that it breaks down with the Rams defense, he's going to have to throw the ball. You're not going to take the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands in this game. That would be stupid. Then they would lose the game if they did that.
All right. Anyone else got thoughts on Burrow here? We like the play. Anyone else have it on their board?
It's not on my board.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
The board now belongs to one Donovan Smoot. Pick 4 in the second round. You took your anytime touchdown bet in round 1, T. Higgins plus 150. So that option is now no longer available for you. It's props, spread total, or money line the rest of the way.
Yep. And so Reed went and took Odell's touchdowns. Earlier this week, we were talking about our best bets. And so I'm going to stick with Odell. Odell over 5 catches at minus 120. That's going to be my second pick. Like, and Reed was saying it earlier, the volume for Odell has gotten bigger and bigger each week in the playoffs. His yardage has gone up each week. And especially last week, it really was just Odell Beckham and Cooper Kupp for Matthew Stafford. He was the only one that they were the only two that he's looking at. I think that Kupp being the focus, whether if it's in the middle of the field, down the field, it's gonna provide a lot of opportunities for Odell to get a lot of catches underneath. He's going to be able to be Matthew Stafford's security blanket in a way. So I think over 5 catches is a really, really good line. So Odell's my guy, and this is his time. I think that for a lot of the Rams, and we'll see later in the draft, see if I can pull one off. But a lot of these Rams have a very narrative, this is their moment, and Odell's one of those guys where he's going to step up. So yeah, we'll foreshadow a little bit, but we'll take Odell right now.
I actually really like that play. I think the 5 feels a tad bit low for him, considering the amount of targets that he's seen. Rams are also dealing with injuries at the tight end position, so all the more opportunities where he could see a few more targets there without the security blanket of somebody like Higbee. The Jefferson probably isn't going to see a lot of targets as well. It's Cooper Kupp and Beckham, and those are your 2 dudes. So the fact that it's still only at 5, I think is a very encouraging sign. Ian, you now get the last pick of round number 2, and then the board goes back to you to start off round number 3.
Yes, I was deciding between 3 different ones. I am going to wait till the last pick of the draft to take my touchdown bet, to be honest, because there's a lot of options I think are decent options. So I was deciding between 3 different props. I think I know which 2 I'm going to go with. I'm going to start with Rams minus 4 is the easiest bet. The second easiest bet is Rams over 3 sacks at minus 130. For the same reason, a big reason why I like Rams minus 4. This Bengals offensive line give up 9 sacks to the Titans. They played against the Raiders and the Chiefs in the other 2 playoff games, 2 of the worst pass rushes in the NFL. And now they have to take on Aaron Donald, the greatest defensive tackle of all time, which is the worst part of the Bengals offensive line is the interior of their offensive line. So good luck blocking Aaron Donald, especially with Von Miller coming off the edge. So, and with it being at that exact number at 3, there's no way this loses. At that worst, they'll have 3 sacks and the bet will push. So
no way it loses.
Literally no chance. Literally no chance.
0%
Unless Aaron Donald and
chance.
Von Miller get hurt in the first drive, there's literally no chance this bet loses.
He's trying to tell y'all,
Zero.
He's trying to tell
that
you.
for social, just in case we need that for Monday, please.
How many sacks the Chiefs got to Joe Burrow at least 3 or 4 times? They had the second worst only once.
I think they only sacked him once.
Oh, okay.
But
To be honest, I only remember once in my head, but I was like, oh, it must have been at least a couple.
They were getting there, and
Correct.
that's the key is that if Donald's coming up the middle and Miller's coming off the edge, one of them is going to get there.
Yeah,
one of them is going to make it happen.
I love it. I love how me and Donovan are on the same side here. So that's going to be the final pick of round 2 for me. Is going to be Rams over 3 sacks at minus 130. The other one, a plus money prop. I made a video for this one earlier this week. This is one of my favorite. This is like a yearly tradition for me. I bet it in every Super Bowl. And it's over 3.5 field goals at plus 135. And there's actually a lot of stats to back it up this year. Rams and Bengals are 17th and 20th in red zone touchdown scoring percentage. And I think it's 4th and 6th in field goals made per game. They're averaging a combined 4.1 field goals per game. Like I said, not great red zone offenses, so a couple drives are going to stall. Both very good kickers. Evan McPherson's been very hot lately. Matt Gay, I think, only missed 2 field goals in the regular season and then 1 last week, and I think that was it. So I feel pretty confident about that, and I like the plus 135, a little plus money action there. So For the first pick of the third round, I'm going over 3.5 combined field goals plus 135.
Yeah,
All right,
I
we got
actually
the
really
pick in
like
the
that one. I like that one. I put that in my same game parlay for both teams to kick a field goal. So I like it. I like it.
Plus 3.5 field goals in the game off the board in round 3. What will we find for you for that final pick in round 4? Who will be that anytime touchdown scorer? That's something that you got to stay tuned for. Donovan, it goes back to you. Right now off the board for you is a T. Higgins anytime touchdown at plus 150. We also have Odell Beckham Jr. over 5 receptions at minus 120. I should mention also for Ian as well, Rams -4. Rams over 3 sacks and then over 3.5 field goals. So what is your third pick here in this bet-sided draft?
We are going to go with the first half over 23.5 and minus 115. And so I'm gonna go there because I think that either one or two things is going to happen, right? Either the Rams come out and they look like the Chiefs did last week or 2 weeks ago, and they just put it on the Bengals and we clear that number. Or I'm completely wrong about the Bengals and they actually stay tight with the Rams. And it's kind of a close game. I don't think that the Rams will be shut down to the point that we're seeing like a 10-10 game. I really see, like, the closest I can see at halftime is a 14-10 game, and that's still going to be over this. So it's kind of like a hedge on between both, but I think that the over in this is going to be good. I don't think that Cincinnati has enough though to stop LA, especially if they come out slow the way that they have.
That's an interesting look on the over for the first half. I think, Reed, was it you and I that we were both looking at the under side for this game, at least in the first half?
Yeah.
Right. And I think
that, but yeah.
Right, but I think our logic was, because that makes a lot of sense, Donovan, because of how you would think it would line up. For the Rams side, you have your adjustments made. You play well typically on your first scripted drive. But then if the Bengals are going to hang on, if they're going to go punch for punch, then it would make sense that number clears fairly easily. I just have some concerns of what the Rams want to do. Like, I think the Rams are going to be able to set the tone defensively. And I also think that after they get that opening drive, they might be a little bit more conservative and try to protect Stafford from making that mistake. And so I could almost see and envision a scenario where it's like 7-3 or 10-7 heading into halftime, just because you're trying to make sure that you can control time and not have to worry about that pass rush or Stafford making a mistake.
Yeah, and I feel that, but even if they come out and they try to be conservative after the first drive, let's say they score a touchdown on the first drive, and then they're conservative the rest of the way, and we're just like dinking and dunking. They have playmakers all around the field. Like Odell can make plays. Cooper Kupp is obviously a playmaker. Cam Akers is really nice in both running the ball and catching the ball. So they have people everywhere, and so I think that even if Stafford isn't the one pushing the ball down the field, they're still going to be able to move the ball because of the skill position guys. So I'm not like too afraid of them, parking the bus in the especially not in the first half. I can see McVay doing that in the third quarter, not in the first half, because okay. I think McVay needs as big of a lead as possible, because we saw during the Niners game, his game management is not there, and he needs a lead. So I think that they'll be aggressive in the first half.
Under 23.5 minus 15 is the second pick in the third round. Peter, the board is back to you. Jamar Chase under 5.5 receptions at plus 105. Staying with the Bengals, over 36.5 pass attempts for Burrow at minus 105. Third round pick. What's the play here?
Guys, I just got a little question for you. I'd just like to know what Bengals pass catcher has scored the most touchdowns over the last 6 weeks. If anybody just knows off the top of their head, just was throwing it out there.
It would be.
I don't know, but I have a feeling you do.
I do agree. That's right. It is Tyler Boyd plus 170 to score a touchdown in the Super
love
Bowl.
the Tyler Boyd hype. I love it.
I'm taking this. I mean, we talked about it at nauseum with the Boyd receptions, but I mean, I'm hammering the Bengals first off. Second thing I'm doing is if Jamar Chase isn't going to have 5 catches, because I think Jalen Ramsey shadows him this whole game, it's going to be a Tyler Boyd underneath game, a CJ Uzomah underneath game, but CJ Uzomah's banged up. I was debating about taking T. Higgins. Obviously, he was taken off the board very quickly. So I like Tyler Boyd at plus 170, get a little bit more value on there. And he scored a lot. He scored in the playoffs. He scored in 4 straight before not scoring against the Titans and the Chiefs. Joe Burrow looks his way in the red zone. He's a short pass target. So if they can get the ball inside the 10, inside the 15, I think that's Tyler Boyd territory. If they're going to score a long touchdown, it's going to be Jamar Chase. But outside of that, I think you got a good chance that Tyler Boyd's the guy who's catching a touchdown. So looking for some value with an anytime touchdown prop. I debated Joe Mixon, but going with Tyler Boyd.
Okay. Another one where Tyler Boyd goes off the board, anytime touchdown at plus 170. So Reed, we've already seen 2 Tyler Boyd bets go off the board today, over 4 receptions, and now Peter taking his anytime touchdown. Are you going to go ahead and claim your guy for a prop bet here? Or are you going to go elsewhere?
No, I'm gonna spread the love a little bit. I'm like, I'm betting on Tyler Boyd props, so like I don't need to bring it into this. I'm trying to, keep my portfolio nice, make sure I can come away winners one way. But I'm gonna go head to head with Donovan.
Confident.
I'm gonna go head to head with Donovan on the first half under 23.5. Listen,
okay.
These especially the first quarter. Very, very slow, notoriously slow. In 23 of the last 30, first quarter, 10 or less points. Sorry, I'm just pulling up my notes while I'm talking, but 10 or less in 23 of the last 30 Super Bowls, under 10. And then in 18 of the last 30, you've been under in the first half. So why I think that this game is going to go under is, one, the Bengals have the 4th slowest neutral game pace. So they're going to try and slow this game down and not make it a shootout. That being said, even if they go to the pass, the Rams are top 10 in explosive pass defense. So I don't see the Rams just coming out, slinging it, ripping off big plays. But even if they do, the Bengals drives are going to be very methodical. And I don't see Joe Burrow making a ton of mistakes. Maybe he eats a few sacks, but then you just punt the ball back across the field. And lastly, both coaches love to punt. They're not aggressive whatsoever. They are cool just punting it back and putting their defense on the field. So I could see a lot of drive stopping, maybe in the, inside the 40s. Matt Gay as well. He's been injured. We don't know the state of him. He's missed 2 field goals this postseason already. I like this under. I bet it. I bet the first quarter under as well, 9.5, but I took the first half under as my third pick.
All right. Like the play a lot. I think you and I are both in agreement on the under 23.5. So I certainly
I see more like 10-3 at half. Like I think we're going to see a lot really slow, methodical. Listen, McVay is so conservative and he's like galaxy brain when it comes to these big decisions. I don't see an aggressive game plan whatsoever. And Zach Taylor, I still don't know if Zach Taylor's a good coach. I really have no idea. So I think that we're going to see a very, very buttoned up first quarter at least, and then maybe scoring picks up in the second quarter, but not enough to send this over the first half.
Fun fact, my bet to be the first head coach fired this season was Zach Taylor, so that didn't
like, has he like really changed your mind this season? Are you now saying that Zach Taylor is some like whiz, or like you're kind of back like towards me?
He took a very average team to the Super Bowl. I can't say anything negative about him.
I just think I will continue to say
I will say this. And I've said whatever I said about Joe Burrow took this team, right? Like I would give a lot more. I would give a lot more of the credit to Burrow than to Taylor. I would give it to Burrow and Chase, and they put the team on their back and they've taken them there.
You know what I will say about Taylor is he doesn't screw up. He might not be the best, most methodical coach, but you never look at him and be like, dude, what are you doing? Whereas someone like coaches like Mike McCarthy, like once a game, are like, dude, what are you doing?
Kyle Shanahan.
I don't think I've said that about Zach Taylor yet, so I'll say that about him.
Not yet.
Listen, I think Zach Taylor got a bad rap, man. He comes in, they have Brandon Allen, Ryan Finley that first year. That was terrible. And then Joe Burrow got hurt. Like he got 2 years of didn't have a quarterback. What did you expect him to do? He finally got a quarterback to go to the Super Bowl. He deserves some credit. I think he deserves a lot of credit.
Some, but I'm giving more to Burrow. I just
don't know if he's like some whiz coach. I don't know if he's like, the next big thing. Like, I think he got this job because like he got Sean McVay coffee one time. Sean McVay like sneezed on him by accident. Like, I still don't like think of him in like the group of like elite coaches.
Hey, he got Jared Goff a big extension though, man. He was the quarterback's coach and they went to the Super Bowl. And then Jared Goff has looked very, very bad ever since. So,
I mean, you can make an argument that like Kyle Shanahan sneezed on all of them, and then Mike Shanahan birthed Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, that's Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, like the whole thing is cyclical, really.
Yeah.
Like it all comes back, and then of course, then everybody under a Shanahan tree has been getting head coaching jobs over the course of the offseason.
I don't want to take us too far off track. I think it's very easy to credit coaches when they win. And like, I think that there has to be a middle ground. That's like being a coach is results driven in both directions. I'm not quick to just anoint a coach because he took a team to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I was not very high on Zach Taylor. So great job. You did it. Like, very impressive. But I'm not just going to say this is the next big, fantastic head coach. I'm still, to me, sustaining success is more important, and making the best, improving your win probability during the games and managing a team. That's what's best. And like, that happens over time. That just doesn't happen after 1 year.
Why do you think it's still such an issue though? Like, especially like if we're having a conversation about some of these young up and coming, more progressive coaches in the league, you would think part of why they've been successful is that ability to adjust. So why, with guys that are really successful at like constructing the roster that they want and being able to get those guys to play hard, but also sort of instituting a progressive offense, why is it so hard to be able to make changes and also remain aggressive during the game?
I don't know, but Zach Taylor's made some great adjustments, man. I mean, that the adjustments that they made, it probably wasn't all him. It had to be the DC too. But the adjustments they made in the second half of that AFC Championship game, like they went from
That's not an adjustment.
That was
That's not an adjustment
on Arumo.
That is Peter.
That was an adjustment.
Yeah,
they went
You cannot give anybody on the Bengals. Stop it. The adjustment was that Patrick Mahomes sucked in the second half.
No, they made an adjustment.
You cannot.
They played.
Patrick Mahomes made an adjustment. Patrick Mahomes decided to play bad. He decided to be impatient. They were doing the same thing. We are not giving them that much credit.
Their DC deserves a lot of credit. Their DC deserves a lot of credit. That is Patrick Mahomes falling apart. But he
fell apart because of the adjustment they made, though. He fell apart because the first half they let them throw the ball
Saturday morning,
and the second half
a great nugget on how they shut down Patrick Mahomes rushing.
I'm gonna read it. Read, and then I'll quote it. I'll quote it on Twitter and say that this is all a lie. Like Patrick Mahomes fell apart because he did what he does. Like Patrick Mahomes' one flaw is that he is a home run hitter, and he tries to hit the home run every single time, and he scrambled on the last. They were even as bad as Mahomes played, they were in the red zone with 2 minutes to go and a chance to take the lead. And if Mahomes doesn't do the little, running back 17 yards every single play, they score a touchdown and win the game. And now we're not talking about Zach Taylor or anybody else. This is all on Patrick Mahomes. Like, this is
real quick, and then we can move on. Why do you think he was running backwards 17 yards? Because they were rushing 3 and dropping 8.
That is.
He had a 0 QBR in the second half. Dude.
He got sacked 4 times when they rushed 3.
We will do this another time, but we will do this another time, because clearly I cannot convince you guys right now that Patrick Mahomes, who we've seen do the little spinny thing all around, that's in his DNA. That's who he is, and that's what happened. But so yeah, I'm not giving that to Zach Taylor or to anybody on the Bengals. That's Mahomes' fault. Whose pick is it anyways? I'm actually lost.
Ben.
Is on okay.
Yeah, maybe I was just buying myself some time, or maybe I really wanted to have an intellectual debate with our team here. You never know. You never know. I will give my pick though, because I think the people have been waiting long enough. At the end of round 3, I have gone with Joe Burrow over 11.5 rushing yards. I also took Tyler Boyd over 4 receptions in this game. I'm going to take another Bengal here. And this is an interesting one that is available over at WinBet. I don't know if I trust T. Higgins to go over his total yards, but I like the matchup for him, especially if we're convinced that Ramsey is going to be on Chase throughout the bulk of the game. I think they're going to scheme up Higgins to get some open looks. And I think because of his speed, that makes him a great threat for a couple deep plays downfield. So WinBet is offering longest reception props. You can get it from 15 plus yards, 20 plus yards, 25 plus yards is even money. And I think T. Higgins is a very good bet to go ahead and get a reception of more than 25 yards in this game, considering the matchup, considering the opportunity. And if Burrow has time, he's going to want to take a couple deep shots in this game. It can't be dink and dunk throughout. You're not going to win the game that way. So give me plus 100, 25 plus yards for longest reception for T. Higgins in this game. Anyone have any thoughts on Higgins here? I know that there's still plenty more picks in the 4th round, but to me, I just can't get behind his total yardage prop, which last time I checked over at WinBet is at 69.5. That feels pretty high for someone that's been a bit hit or miss, but I think he can have one home run play at least in this game.
I wonder, Ben, I like the play a lot. I wonder how big that home run play is, if that would almost carry him to the over, but I think I like taking the plus money on him to get that home run play than taking out, what is it, minus 115 for him to go over that?
It's no, it's 25 or more yards for Higgins at plus 100. If I wanted to do 20 or more, I'd have to take that at minus 222.
Okay,
so
I like the 25.
Yeah. And if I thought, all right, he has a chance to go 30 yards, I can get that at plus 180. But I think 25 is kind of right in that sweet spot of where I think he gets a big play reception downfield. Normally 20. That's a lot of the times where you're measuring explosive plays and explosive catches. I know Next Gen over at Amazon Web Services keeps track of that as well. But I do think Higgins can stretch the field. He's a good yards after catch. I think he got about 30% of the team's total air yards from Joe Burrow. So 25 plus feels like it's just a good place to be able to get that at even odds. All right. So that's off the board. I now have to choose my anytime touchdown scorer. The guys that have gone off the board in this particular category have been T. Higgins from Donovan, plus 150. Tyler Boyd went off the board from Peter at plus 170. And then Reed took Odell Beckham Jr., anytime touchdown at plus 110. I'm going to give you a name that you may not be all too familiar with, and that is Kendall Blanton. Might ask, who the hell is Kendall Blanton? Well, that's going to be the tight end for the Rams in this game, and you can get him at plus 230 odds over at WinBet to score an anytime touchdown. Remember, Stafford only has those 2 receivers, and Van Jefferson hasn't shown any indication that he's going to be actively involved. But in the red zone, especially against the Bengals defense that is going to try and create some pressure to force Stafford to have a turnover, he's targeted guys like Higbee in the red zone plenty of times throughout the course of the year. Mismatch in the middle of the field, likely have a linebacker on him. I think Blanton gets himself into the end zone. There's just not a lot of tape on this dude, and he's already scored in the postseason already. There's some comfort there. So I think that could be a nice little anytime touchdown play that might be just a tad bit under the radar. So plus 230, Rams tight end Kendall Blanton will score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
I like that a lot.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
All right.
Athletic too. He's very athletic.
Yes. Yeah. It's a dude that can go up and get it.
Yeah, he's a big body for sure.
I don't like that pick. How about that?
All right, sure.
Please.
Tell us why.
I don't have to like it.
It's fine. I'm just joking.
All right, Reed. Final pick of the draft, round 4 goes to you. Who do you like?
Okay, so I was talking about like diversifying my betting, from like my bets to my betting draft. So the way the board shook out, I'm actually going to go all in on my Joe Mixon handicap here, how he's not going to be able to run the ball, how Joe Burrow is going to have to throw the entire time. So I'm going to go Joe Mixon over 25.5 receiving yards. So like if I kind of handicap this game correctly, I'm probably going to sweep the board and win this because I'm all in on a few things. But that being said, there is cause for this bet. Mixon's had nearly 6 targets per game in his last 5. He's gone over this number in all of them. So I see the Rams dropping back in zone. They run zone at one of the highest clips in the entire league. They're going to rush 4. They're going to win with Aaron Donald and Von Miller. What are they going to have to do? Quick underneath throws. I've been talking about this all week. They're going to target Tyler Boyd. They're going to target Joe Mixon. Samaje Perine, he had that screen pass scoot for like a 45-yard touchdown against the Chiefs. He'll be involved. But I'm going to go Mixon. I think he's going to be on the field the most. And this is just like a really low number. 25.5. He's cleared in 5 straight. Targets are up. Everything leads me to this bet. I think under rushing, over receiving. Let's hope at least we hit one. I think he's going to hit both. And that's my draft.
I was going to say, too, you mentioned Perine. His total on reception yards is only 9.5. So
yeah,
took out one of the houses 40+ yards. You just don't see them replicating anything like that.
It's more, I think that they trust Mixon and it's the Super Bowl. And he's gotten 29 targets over his last 5 games. That's a high number. If he's getting that and he can rip off like 1 for 10, 15 yards, all of a sudden you're in business. So I just think that the targets are going to be there for Mixon a little bit more than Perine. I know only one catch could get that, but there's a chance Perine's like hardly on the field. You know, there's a chance Taylor just ends up trusting the guys that got him there, and that's Mixon, who's been kind of their bell cow all season. Just 25.5 feels a little short to me, so I'm going to go over.
All right. Joe Mixon over 25.5 receptions rounds out Reed's
I will be
picks.
focused on him all Super Bowl. I'll just be watching him the entire time.
Yes, that'll be. I don't, you know, like how in the college football national championship game, ESPN has like 30 different channels that they're doing, and you just have like one camera on one guy. Like that can be your play.
I'll split screen Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon the entire time.
Yes, Reed's television screen is going to look just like this. Like it's just going to be like game, and then Boyd cam, Mixon cam, maybe a coach's over here, and then I don't know what the 5th one will be, but maybe you can spread out more TVs. By the way, I'm a big advocate of this. More TVs and more TV channels should offer the ability to go like picture in picture in picture in picture in picture. Like set up your television. We're streaming. Like there's no reason why we can't do this. So you can do it on our computer screen. There's no reason we can't do it on our television sets if they're like less than 5 years old. That's just something to try and save the world, change the way that we view our sports. I digress. Peter, go ahead and round out the board. Pick number 4 midway through. Who do you like?
Oh man, if this draft could have gone any better, I don't think I would have been. It couldn't have gone any better. If I took a map and said, this is what I want to do and get back to this last spot right here in the 4th round. Ian was called me a coward because I didn't take Bengals money line in the 1st round. But I knew all of you were too proud to steal the pick from me because once Reed said he wasn't going to pick a side and the rest of you have been on the Rams, I knew it was coming right back to me. So we're going to round this out. Bengals money line plus 170. We're hammering it. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are winning this game. You can take it to the bank. I've discussed it ad nauseum. It's happening. And if it doesn't happen, I will own up to it, but it's happening.
The caveat at the end is really my favorite part. It's happening. You can take it to the bank. You can put your mortgage on it. And if it doesn't happen, then I'll say I'm
wear it.
Really, really sorry.
I will wear it if I'm wrong, but I'm not going to be wrong.
Okay. All right. I admire the confidence. Donovan, final pick on the board for you before Ian will close things out. You got T. Higgins anytime touchdown plus 150, Odell Beckham Jr. over 5 receptions, and first half over 23.5 points. Reed on the other side of that at first half under. That's really the only bet I think that we have a major discrepancy other than Ian with Rams -4 and Peter with the Bengals on the money line.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is actually like I'm kind of in between. Do y'all know the scene in Uncut Gems, like at the very end where Adam Sandler he's talking to Kevin Garnett and he's like trying to hype him up before the game, and he's like, "Would you rather win by 1 or win by 30?" Right. So that's where I'm at right now, because I have like a very like stupid, insane play that I would love to do to try and win by 30, but I think that I'm gonna be a coward right now and just try to go save and
run it up.
Listen. We never discussed what we're actually betting here.
Run it up. I want to hear. I want to hear the run it up play anyway.
And if that hits, Donovan, if that hits, like that's bragging rights over all of us.
Here's what
you guys are trying to talk him into this, so he gets it wrong. Terrible.
So okay, I'm looking at the board right now, at the official board that we have, and it's not on there, but I'm pretty sure that you guys would be okay if I did this.
Apologies to me if I didn't add it.
Okay, so I'm gonna close this out, and I was talking earlier about narratives. Aaron Donald is gonna win Super Bowl MVP, and so I'm gonna take Aaron Donald for Super Bowl MVP at plus 1,600. I think that the Rams are going to get to Joe Burrow because of their pass rush. I think that he's going to be a problem all day. And for a guy who we all know is the greatest defensive tackle of all time and is the greatest defensive player of our generation, let him get one. If he gets one sack on Burrow, it's a lock, because I think that the voters know that in terms of greatness, Donald is greater than Stafford. They would be much more willing to give it to him. And so I'm gonna go Aaron Donald, Super Bowl MVP. Plus
one sack is gonna win Super Bowl MVP. One sack.
One sack. He's gonna be in the backfield all day, but he's gonna have all the pressure. He's gonna be a problem. There's no doubt in my mind that Aaron Donald is gonna be there. He just needs one sack, and I think he will get it. So that's where I'm going. And so that's how I'm gonna close out my
Aaron Donald has one. If Aaron Donald has just one sack and no forced fumbles or anything, just one sack, I would make him maybe 150, 200 to 1 to win Super Bowl MVP.
I'm taking Donald. He's going to be a problem all day. Joe
Burrow. Are you offering a side pod here?
Maybe. If that's he's just going to have one sack.
Listen, I know.
I'm just thinking about what defensive players have to do to win this award. Like what
did
Von Miller
did when he won?
Von Miller had 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles.
2.5 sacks, Von Miller.
And they led to 2 touchdowns. Like one was recovered for a touchdown. The other one set up a 3-yard touchdown run.
What about Malcolm? What was it? Malcolm Smith?
Malcolm Smith scored, had a fumble recovery, a pick, and like 10 tackles.
I have.
Like you have to have a crazy good game.
I have right in front of you. An interception for a touchdown, a fumble recovery, and 10 tackles. Malcolm Smith. Von Miller, 2 years later, 6 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 1 pass defended. And then you have to go to.
He's got to get like 2 or 3. He's got to get 2 or 3. Super Bowl MVP isn't like a legacy award.
Cool, I'm riding with it. I'm riding with it because Donald is that good, and this is his game. This is going to be an Odell Beckham and an Aaron Donald game, and I want you guys to book it. And so whenever I end up winning by however much I win, because this is plus 1,600, I can go 1-3, and I'm still going to win. And Donald, Donald is going to take it there.
In Donovan's defense, there's a Hall of Famer that agrees with the Super Bowl MVP pick. Orlando Pace is also going with Aaron Donald over on Big Man Bets, which you can find right here on YouTube as well. Both of them had a pretty solid betting season too. Mangle, I think, had the title over Orlando Pace, but I think they both did really, really well heading into the end of the season. So it's a good guy to be able to have in your corner, Donovan. And 16-1. If Donald hits, because I don't disagree with the play. I think Donald is a fine pick for Super Bowl MVP, but I'm with Reed. I think he needs more than one pick. Even if he's wrecking the game throughout, I don't think the voters can look at the stat line and say we gave him the MVP despite he might have 7 quarterback pressure, but you got to get home at least more than once, I think.
And that's fair. And I do think that Aaron Donald would do that.
The question is, has anybody won Super Bowl MVP in a losing effort? That's the thing.
One person has, to be fair. Wasn't it like a Cowboys linebacker back in like the 70s or something, or 60s? They're not going to do that anymore. But.
It might have been. I honestly didn't know if anybody.
I don't know.
There has been one. There's been one Super Bowl MVP from a.
I know NBA. I don't know NFL. Shout out Jerry West.
They wouldn't do it anymore because now they do it like the same time they do like the trophy presentation. But.
Mm-hmm.
Does Nickelodeon still do like Super Bowl MVP, or is that only for the?
That's only the wild card game they get, I think.
Yeah, that's too bad. Shout out Mitch Trubisky, former MVP of the league. Also, shout out to our guy Zach Best, who weighs in. This is Ray Lewis, very similar to Aaron Donald, potential for Super Bowl MVP.
Thank you.
Lewis
Listen,
ended up winning it in Super Bowl 35. But
there's a lot of people.
His stat line wasn't anything impressive in that game. It was just collection of the Ravens defense winning it. So that's there might be some more folks.
They blanked the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Say that again?
Didn't they blank the Giants?
Right? I believe.
I think so.
Probably. Listen, there's precedent.
Wait, Ray Lewis won in 2000,
and a lot
right?
of people are on my side right now. So Zach just weighed in again. He said Ray Lewis had 5 tackles and 4 pass deflections, no sacks.
He's not necessarily known as like a guy getting to the quarterback, though.
Was this that was the 2000 Super Bowl, right? And Ian, you could make your final.
That was the Dilfer team.
Yeah, when they won didn't they win 38-0 or something, or maybe less points?
It was
34 to 7.
Like
34 to 7. Maybe if that scoreline plays out, which I don't think it's gonna happen, but you never know. Could. I want to put it out like the realm of possibility. I just Donald to me is going to have a
Rams 7.
Yep,
Donald
that makes sense.
In order for Donald to win MVP, he'll just need to put up more numbers than just 1 sack. That's what.
And it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy against that offensive line.
By the way,
that's just how I say it.
Just to clarify about Super Bowl MVPs from losing teams, I was correct. It's happened once. 1971, Dallas Cowboys, Chuck Howley, linebacker for the Cowboys, won it in the losing effort. The only time it's happened.
Look at you,
trivia
Ian.
question.
Good job, Ian.
That is a good trivia question.
I didn't remember the name, but I knew it was a Cowboys linebacker from the early 70s.
Oh,
Super Bowl 5.
Well done by you.
You
All right.
should be proud.
Just gonna pat myself on the back.
Before we get out of here, we do need a final pick from one Ian McMillan as we close out our draft. But as soon as we're done, we'll make sure that we go over all of our different picks. We'll post them on social as well, so all of you guys can follow along and track to see who ends up winning this thing. But Ian has the Rams -4, Rams over 3 sacks at -130, over 3.5 field goals at +135. So you've kind of sprayed to all fields in this Super Bowl. So how are you going to close it out?
I was thinking about a few different options, to be honest, because I had a few long shots I was going to take, but for the spirit of the competition, I didn't want to take a long shot that would just win the whole competition just by winning the bet. But then Donovan took that MVP pick, so then I thought maybe I should take a long shot that'll just automatically win me the draft. Because one of those options was going to be Bengals defensive touchdown. I thought about to hedge my Rams bet, because the only way the Bengals are going to be able to win is if they get a defensive or special teams touchdown. Literally,
and Stafford's prone to his turnovers
and a lot of pick sixes too. But I'm not a coward, so I'm not going to do that and try to hedge my Rams pick. The other one I thought of, Matt Stafford anytime touchdown at 8-1. That would automatically win me the draft. A big QB sneak guy. If they get down to the 1 yard line, they're going to sneak it.
Some wise guy told you that in the best bets video the other day.
But I decided against that too. I am going to kind of be safe here because I want a clean 4-0 sweep and win the draft that way. So I'm going to take, it's a safe pick for my anytime touchdown. I'm going to take Cam Akers -130. Safe pick, minus money, but I'm going to go 4-0, win this draft on a sweep. Cam Akers is also my Super Bowl MVP pick at 35-1. So if he's going to win MVP, he's got to score at least once. So I think Rams are going to run the ball a ton. Bengals have one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. Going to feed Cam Akers. He hasn't looked good recently. I'll admit that, but they've played some very good run defenses. So this is kind of the first good matchup that they've had with the running game in the playoffs. Give me Cam Akers, score anytime, a -130 to finish off the draft.
You also had a chance, by the way, to talk to the most recent of all Super Bowl MVP winners at the running back spot too.
Correct. And check out that interview when it's up tomorrow. But I did actually ask him that question. If there's going to be a running back that's going to break that streak, who is it going to be? I won't spoil it. I'll say he didn't say Cam Akers. That might kind of give it away, but I'm going to disagree with the legendary Broncos running back.
Did you get a chance to ask him if he thinks Aaron Rodgers is coming to Denver?
No, I had only 5 minutes with him, so it was very. I did not have enough time. Would have loved to ask him that though, but no.
No, I'm looking forward to watching that interview. That should be a lot of fun. And Yeah, it's been a long time since a running back got it done, but if Akers is a big part of the game plan, then I certainly don't mind that play at all. All right, so before we get out of here, let's go ahead and do one final rundown across all the different bets that we have here for this draft. Ian in round 1 took the Rams -4. In round 2, he took the Rams over 3 sacks at -130. Round 3 over 3.5 field goals with plus odds at 135. And then Cam Akers anytime touchdown at -130. Donovan started off the first round with a T. Higgins anytime touchdown bet at +150 odds. He then moved on to the over on Odell Beckham Jr.'s receptions at 5 at -120. Round 3, he went with the first half over of 23.5 points at -115, and then closed out the draft with the big swing of Aaron Donald, a Super Bowl MVP with only 1 sack at +1,600. Peter went with Jamar Chase under 5.5 receptions for plus money at 105. He then went to the Joe Burrow over 36.5 passing attempts at -105. His anytime touchdown bet was Tyler Boyd, comes in at +170, and then closed it out with, you guessed it, Bengals money line. As for Reed, Joe Mixon under 63.5 rushing yards at -115. Took his anytime touchdown bet with Odell Beckham Jr. at +110. Then moved on to the first half under of 23.5 going against Donovan in a head-to-head at -115. And then wrapping things up with the over on Joe Mixon receiving yards. So you got the over on receiving yards from Mixon and the under on rushing yards from Mixon.
And
then
emotionally rooting for Tyler Boyd.
That's right. Very much so. And then I went with the over of Joe Burrow rushing yards. I've been talking about that all week. -125 at 11.5. Then followed that one up with Tyler Boyd over 4 receptions at +100. T. Higgins' longest reception of 25+ yards, also at +100. And then closed things out with an anytime touchdown pick of Kendall Blanton, the big strapping tight end for your Los Angeles Rams. That is our board. Good stuff, gentlemen. I think we closed things out well. We'll of course be tweeting all these out, and we'll be following along in real time. You can make sure that we'll keep track of it all throughout the course of the game over at BetSided as well. Make sure you guys check out some more of those videos. I know that Ian had an opportunity to talk with Terrell Davis and Hines Ward. You can find those there. Big Man Bets, of course, just put up on YouTube as well. Bet and Breakfast is right here. And of course, everything you need for the Super Bowl is over at our Super Bowl hub over at BetSided. Any last words, gentlemen, before we head on out?
Happy Super Bowl, gentlemen. May the best man win.
Go ahead, Ian.
Go Rams, go.
We'll talk to y'all soon. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. Be good.